Hi, I'm Carla Hinton. I'm reporting for the Oklahoman and newsok.com. I have in the studio with me here today Beatrice Atino Williamson. She is the creator of Maisha Orphanage in Kenya. She's a native of Kenya, living here in the United States and a member of a city church. We also have Kendall Brown, who is a student at OU, Mark Narens, another student at OU, and Ariel Bloomer, who is 10 years old, and he's a student at Wilson Elementary School. So Beatrice and her group are here to talk about their upcoming mission trip going back to Kenya this June. Beatrice, tell me a little bit about the orphanage.
The orphanage is actually, normally when people talk about the orphanage, they think it's this humongous building, you know, full of children. But our orphanage is kind of like unique and is set up different. At the center, where the Maisha International Center we operate from, it houses about 22 children. Okay. And around the village, we have placed children with the widows and widowers around the community so that, you know, we don't separate siblings from each other. So we have placed at Maisha, we have placed about 150 kids around the village. So, in total, the Maisha International is, providing for about 185 children daily.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about what you all did when you went last year back to the orphanage.
Last year was amazing. We took a team of about 12 people, and we went to put together a Maisha Art and Cultural Camp. And I'll let one of my good friends, Kendall Brown, talk about this because that's her passion, and you can just see it from her heart. But when we went there, we hosted photography, journalism, painting, and also we did dance for the kids. And Kendall believes that art is a therapy to bring emotional distress to little kids, because at one point she was in that state. And apart from that, we also visited the people living with HIV, HIV positive women and men. And this was a life-changing, ministry we did. We did counseling, we prayed with them, and also we provided for them some basic, food just for the week or something like that. So it was an amazing trip we took. Okay. And life-changing. Okay,
good. Now, Kendall, can you tell me a little bit about the trip? What was most rewarding for you?
Definitely most rewarding for me was the camp experience, was working with the kids through the camp and through their art classes and getting them to open up through their artwork. Okay. So as she said, we did Maisha Arts and Cultural Camp, and that was my main function while I was there, was to direct that. And then I also taught the photography class for it, because every day they went to 3 classes. They went to a photography class, they went to a painting drawing class, and they went to a song and dance class. And we originally had, through B and through 2 different schools there, signed up 100 kids. And so last year when we were fundraising, that's, the goal we had in mind was enough art supplies for 100 kids. And right before we left, we bought art supplies for 125 kids to allow
just
for
to
some,
have enough.
yeah, to allow for some fluctuation, like somebody brings a friend this day. And by the 3rd day of camp, we had nearly 350 campers. So it was probably one of the most stressful experiences of my life, but also by far the most rewarding experience I've ever had. And I have to say that the kids at the camp and the kids in my class, in the photography class, I think honestly taught me more about photography than I have learned in 4 years of college. And that's speaking about kids that have never held a camera before in their life. So I thought I was going over there to teach them, but I think it really turned out that they taught us just as much as we taught them.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Now, Ariel, I'm going to save you for last. Save the best for last. Yeah. Mark, tell me a little bit about your experience. What was most rewarding?
Well, I went. I'm studying journalism at OU and documentary film journalism, and also African studies. And so I'd never left the country before, and so this was my first time to leave America and go overseas, specifically to Africa. And I think for what I'm studying, what I want to do in life is tell stories, and this this gave me the best chance I'd ever seen in my life to tell a story and to document what was going on. I took somewhere to 60 to 70 hours of footage of the camp we did and the kids and stories about the kids, where they come from, what it was like for them in life. And I guess it just taught me a lot about how big the world is and how related we all are, where some of the kids I met, though they're living as orphans, they have HIV or their parents died of it and they don't have any parents or whatever, their hope and perseverance and faith and strength in situations that hardly anyone in America could even start to think about living in was just so inspiring, how amazing these kids were. And so it's something that opens your eyes to how much is going on in the world and what we can do about it, and then to be able to take those stories and bring them back and to be working on showing them. They just have so much to teach us, I think, which is kind of what Kendall was saying. And their joy is just so amazing when they live with so little. They're so content. So they can teach us a lot about that. And I know we all had fun. It was pretty awesome, especially with this kid.
Well, Ariel, that's speaking of having fun. What kinds of things did you do at the camp, and how did you get to be a part of the mission trip?
Well, first we started raising money for the orphanage, so we started to worry about the children more, and then we went to Africa and actually saw the person who was sponsoring, which was Paul. Okay. So when I went to Africa, it was kind of weird because I felt like I was in the country, so I thought it was a country. And that was my first time on the plane too. Okay. I wasn't scared at the time. So when we had like over 352 people, children, I mean, they had to share crayons, and that was a really good thing they did, because that was the most I never ever seen that thing happen again over Oklahoma.
Because like everyone has their own crayons, right?
Yes.
Right. You had never seen so many people have to share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So like I had to play with the children because I had to keep them active. I don't want them laying around like all day like this, being restless. Had to let them waste some energy because they've been working all day. Like when I go to school, I know how they feel. I work, still work, go to our special to give us a break, and then still work until we have lunch. Everybody's excited. We talk, and play, talk. Until we get in, it sucks.
And you did that with the kids, right? You played all kinds of stuff.
Okay. But what they were doing, it kept them active. Like he made an interview of sports, and she let them take photos around the village. Okay. So it was active, and they get to stretch their muscles, and they don't have to sit nowhere.
That's awesome.
It is.
And also, we had experienced lots of differences too. Like in America, we have lots of food, we can deal with it, and we just survive just like that. And then in Africa, they have food, which helps you and gives you medicine, and they have food which, they're going on poverty. They barely have food.
Okay.
So if we send our food over there, it would kill them because there's something inside of it.
Oh, they're not used to eating.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So and they have a very little, maybe where we here have a lot.
There was a person who had gone through starvation a lot, and then there was a funeral, which had taken place in the village. So in the funeral in the villages, they have a lot of food. Like that's the time you can eat. They slaughter a cow and they just have plenty of food. And this guy had just gone through a time where he had not ate for like days. Okay. So at this funeral, he ate a lot and he got sick. Oh, no. And eventually he died, like within 24 hours, because he just kept on, begging food and eating. Oh, and, he went to the hospital and died because of, too much food.
Wow. Okay.
So it
went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. So I know that you are trying to raise funds now, and that's kind of why you're here to talk to us. What are some of the ways that you're going to be raising funds for your 2009 trip?
We have different ideas that we have, fundraisings. We are planning of raising funds. We want to do, like benefit concerts. We want to also raise funds through, Kendall is coordinating a lot of art shows, gallery shows around Oklahoma City. Okay. And also, one of the biggest ways we can really get the funds raised quickly is just through individuals and generous support from families. Okay. So we want to target on families and individuals to be our specific donors for the camp and for the orphanage as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were telling me that you all have a specific fundraiser. You want people to donate their frequent flyer miles?
Yes, there are a lot of students who are interested of going, and they are really looking forward to going. But at the same time, they have to raise their funds for their personal expenses for being in Kenya for 3 weeks, okay. And also the air ticket, and that just makes the whole price for the trip outrageous. Okay. But if we got people with frequent flyer miles who can sponsor a student, we can concentrate on raising the funds for just the expenses in Kenya and get them to Kenya for free. I think that is the best way. I know a lot of mission teams who do it that way, and we are seeking for businesses who have frequent flyer miles that they are not using. They are just losing them, okay. To step up and donate this, send a student or two, to this trip, because it's going to be a life-changing experience for American student, and also it's going to be a life-transforming act for the people in the village. So it's both win-win situation. Okay. So we are looking for people to send us there.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have anything to share about the fundraisers? Mark?
I would just say, they're planning lots of stuff to be happening, but for both of us, it was our first time to go last time, and I know specifically for both of us that we weren't able to go if it wasn't for people who helped fund us to go. Okay. And we're very grateful and thankful for them, because it really did change our lives, and I know it'll change the lives of anyone that get to go. So. Okay.
All right, great. Well, thank you guys for coming in today. This is Carla Hinton reporting for the Oklahoman and NewsOK.com. Read more about this particular mission trip in the Oklahoman.